I wanted to let you guys know a little bit more about what this, I've been posting this week about the communication transformation self-study course that I have on a special promo going on for you guys this week during Cyber Week. And some of you guys are new here and you don't know what that is. Those of you who've been here a while, you know what that is, or maybe you've been here a while and you've forgotten what that is. So I wanted just to explain to you what is this thing that you can buy this week for a really huge discount, and let you know why now's a great time to get it and how you can get a huge discount on the upcoming group. So basically, those of us who are in these autism spectrum relationships, communication is the one of the most fundamental aspects of the breakdown of our relationship. We don't speak the same language. We use language differently. We interact in a way where we don't understand each other. It just creates this huge gap. Hey Janice, how are you? So when you guys come here, you are so confused. Some of you are in early stages of your relationships, you're dating. Some of you have been married for decades. I've coached. I'm coaching right now a couple that have been married for like 40 years. And the longer this goes on, the bigger the wedge that is there because you don't communicate. And there's nothing wrong with either of you. Those of you who are neurotypical, those of you who are autistic, I've got both of you in this group here. There's nothing wrong with either one of you. You just communicate in totally different kinds of ways, and you're really, really misunderstanding each other. And I've seen this over and over again in my own relationship. This happened. Both of them. My marriage that failed after 19 years, and then another relationship I was in for 2.5 years with a man on the spectrum. Now, I don't blame autism for the failure of those relationships at all. That autism was not what was wrong. I brought my own stuff to the relationship. He brought his own stuff to the relationship. Part of what he was bringing to it was autism, but I was bringing stuff to it as well. And that's part of what's in this course. So basically, the course, you guys, the course was born out of, it's the curriculum from a coaching group. So originally, I still do, I have a coaching group. It's 6 weeks. It's a 6-week coaching group. And the enrollment for the next session, by the way, is coming up in December. I'm going to be opening enrollment for the next session on December 18th. And I'm going to be deeply discounting the enrollment for that as my gift to you guys this holiday season. So this 6-week coaching group, we go through the 4 stages of communication. And these stages are really fundamental in understanding where this communication gap is happening and why you guys are cycling through the same fights over and over and over and over again. I'll just go ahead and tell you right now, stage 1 of communication is what we bring to our interactions. It's also what we bring to the relationship. So what we bring to it is our expectations of the conversation, of the interaction, what we're expecting to happen, what we're expecting to say, what we're expecting our partner to say and do. Those expectations are based on a lot of things, based on the past conversations we've had, based on our perceptions of ourselves, our partner, based on our hopes for the conversation, goals, objectives, values, beliefs, lots of things. We bring all that to the conversation. You guys, sometimes we've had the conversation in our head already before it takes place, right? If you'll be honest with yourself, it's true. And sometimes we don't even really hear our partner because we're kind of already expecting that we already know what they're going to say. And we don't really hear what they really do say. So we bring all that, but we also bring who we are. We bring our personalities. We bring our histories, if we had trauma in the past, if we've had other relationships where we're treated a certain way, we bring autism, we bring being neurotypical. So we bring how our brain is wired. We bring all of that. This is stage 1 of communication. Okay? Stage 2 is how we interact. Hi, Jenna. Good to see you. Stage 2 is actually how we actually interact. What we say, how we say it. It's our tone of voice, our body language, what medium we're using. Are we actually speaking? Are we writing an email? Are we texting? Are we walking through the room and or are we sitting down having a face-to-face? All of those things are how we interact. And sometimes we don't go about that the best way. When we choose to interact, I'm the world's worst about dropping a bomb, dropping a big, heavy conversation at an inopportune moment when it's just not the right timing. Timing is important. This is stage 2, how we interact. And so this can derail. We can get derailed at so many stages. Stage 2 is where most counseling focuses. And so the thing about when we go to counseling, I talk in here all the time about how counseling doesn't work for neurodiverse relationships. It focuses a lot on stage 2, how we interact, and also on emotions. And a lot of folks on the spectrum don't understand the language of emotions, and so that doesn't work. And so that kind of goes back to what we're bringing. If the focus is on emotion terminology and someone on the spectrum doesn't understand that language, that's what they're bringing to it, and it gets so confusing. So anyway, so stage 2 is a very vital stage, but it can't be the only stage we focus and concentrate on. Stage 3 is the meaning we assign to our interactions. And this is where those of us who are neurotypical especially tend to derail. Now, those of you on the spectrum derail here as well, because oftentimes you interpret these conversations as that you are being criticized. Those of us who are neurotypical, we interpret the conversations as feeling rejected, hurt. We read into things a lot more than is there sometimes. Those of you who are on the autism spectrum tend to be very literal about your communications. Those of us who are neurotypical tend to look for the implied meaning when there's not really an implication a lot of times, but what does he mean by that? We read more into it than is really there. And then we end up we take a meaning away from it that is not actually what was meant and what the interaction meant, really. So there's a lot that can be derailed in stage 3 in the meaning. Stage 4 is how we recall and how we remember our interactions. Here's another place where we can derail because our memory is dependent on so many factors. Our memory is dependent on our perceptions of what actually happened. So if we're actually perceiving the interaction differently and we're taking away different meanings, guess what? We're going to remember it differently. And then how many of you have had arguments and conflict about what was said, what was agreed upon? Well, I don't remember it that way. And then we feel like our partner's being dishonest. They're lying to us. They're being manipulative because I know what was said. I know I'm right. And then there's this big antagonistic thing. And then, and memory also has to do with so many other factors, and it's not reliable. And so all these stages are important. So in my 6-week coaching group, I go through all of these stages one at a time with other couples, with you and other couples, and we go through it and we talk about what it means. I have slides and I go through the slides and we talk about how these stages, how this is playing out in all of their relationships, and I talk about my relationships and how this how this is applied to me. And then they go and they study these stages of communication in their own interactions every week. And then we come back and we talk about it, and we talk about what they saw. We're detectives. What they saw, what they observed, and how they changed things up each week at a time. And we really get vulnerable with each other and talk it out and get pretty close. It's such a powerful exchange, because everybody's like, wow, you're experiencing this too. And it's just really, really an awesome experience for folks. By the way, once you're my policy is that, number one, there's only one enrollment. You don't both pay to enroll. It's a couple enrollment. So one of you enrolls. Sometimes I don't have partners who want to participate, and that's fine. So one of you can enroll for a coaching group, but your partner's always free. And then my policy is that once a member, always a member. So you can enroll and go through this coaching group one time, but then you can always join future sessions, because sometimes we just need to reinforce what we've learned. So I have couples who come back and pop in after they've already been through the coaching group. So what I've done in this self-study course is all of these sessions have been recorded. My members have known they were being recorded, but I've taken all the video out, so nobody's faces are on there. It's just voices. And so I've taken the audio from a couple of these sessions, and the audio's there. The slides that I use are there. The handbook, there's a 33-page handbook. So there's like 6 modules, I think, because there's an intro module and then there's a wrap-up module. And as we go through the coaching group, we also have a couple of bonus calls in addition to our weekly calls. These are all on Zoom, usually during the coaching group. And I've put it all together in a self-study course. Hey, Rian, good to see you. So I've put it all together in a course that you can actually go through on your own at your own pace, and you can listen to the sessions, and you can read, you can read the slides and absorb all of this information. And what I really, really recommend to most people is that you actually do the self-study course before you enroll in the coaching group. Now, I recommend this coaching group for pretty much any of you who are really wanting, if you're really motivated to really level up your relationship, to minimize the conflict. I've had so many folks come to me who are actually on the brink of breaking it off, or who are on the brink of divorce. And this communication program has truly, truly turned the corner for them, because it absolutely changes up how you approach each other and how you communicate to each other. It is totally different. It changes things. And so, I use this model with my private coaching clients, but I really prefer that all of you go through this curriculum first, this coaching program first, before you even come to me for private coaching. And because I want you to already have these tools so that we can use them in the private coaching that I do. My private coaching, if you don't know about it, that's a 2-month intensive where I practically move in with you virtually. We meet on calls on Zoom once or twice a week, but I also message with you like almost daily, so that I'm in your lives and able to coach you. But that's a whole other topic. But this curriculum really gets you the foundation of why you have been misunderstanding each other for so long and how to fix it. So what I've done for you right now is I've got this discounted for you. The self-study course is $225. And I've got this Cyber Week sale going for you right now. It's $100 off. So you can get it for $125 right now, US dollars. Then Starting December 18th, I'm opening enrollment for the next 6-week coaching group. Now that's going to start on January 6th, which is a Wednesday. That's when the first coaching group session will be. I'm opening enrollment for that on December 18th, and I'm knocking off some serious bucks on that too. Normally the coaching group is $500, and that's usually 2 payments of $250, or you can pay it all up front. I'm knocking that down to $300 as my gift to you for the holidays. But if you already have purchased the self-study course, which I really recommend you do before you get in the coaching group, because the folks in the coaching group have told me it's a lot to absorb. It is a lot. It's a lot to absorb. So if you get the self-study program first, you're able to absorb this content before you get in the coaching group. And you really will start to incorporate this stuff into your relationship. And so once you've gone through that course, then when you get in the coaching group, you're already familiar with the stages of communication. The way memory and learning works, we know this in the field of psychology, is the more exposure you have to concepts, the more it really starts to sink in and crystallize. And so going through the self-study course first is the way to prime yourself for it, to get ready for it. And then the coaching group really is going to help you implement it in your relationship. So that's why I discounted it for you first here. Then I'm going to discount the coaching group for you starting the 18th down to $300. And if you've bought the self-study course already, then you get another 30% off of the coaching group. So you can double dip there. And so you can get both of these programs for like $325. Yeah, I put it in the other post. So it's like normally $225 plus it's like $775 for both of them, but you can get them both for $325. So Merry Christmas, you guys. This is the best thing you can do for your relationship, honestly, to give yourself this gift this Christmas. And if you get this course now too, this is so going to help you through the holidays. You're going to already start learning these skills through the holidays. Hey, Michelle. Michelle says we just started self-study. Even with screen blacked out, I can hear the motion. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the screen. My Aspie hubby likes that he can relate to what he hears other Aspies are saying. Yeah, so the screen blacked out, what she's talking about is you can't see people's faces because you can hear me talking and you hear other people talking, but you just can't see their faces because that's just for privacy. Jackie says, soak it all up. I think I'm 6 months into learning and works best when in conversations with others who use the same language and have some understanding. Yeah, Jackie's been in the program too. So here you go. Here you guys go. These are some folks who've already been going through this, and it really makes such a difference. And it's not an overnight change, you guys. Those of you who've been in relationships for a while, you're already really deeply rooted in these patterns of interaction. So it's not going to change overnight. But I do guarantee you that it will revolutionize the way you think about how you're communicating with each other. You will start to go, I have a private coaching client right now who has the course, and she's like, she's like, my mind's just blown about all of this, about how we talk to each other, and this is just so different. So I wanted to just jump on here and explain it to you guys, especially those of you who are new, so you'd understand what this is. And if you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to shoot me a private message, and I'm happy to answer any of those questions. So anyway, you guys have a great rest of your day or evening or morning or whatever it is where you guys live. I know you guys are all over the world. Jackie's over there in New Zealand. So anyway, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.